Welcome, welcome to Lesbian Love. This is your girl V, and today I have a special guest, Kimberly. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Kimberly, when I say the word love, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
I think probably commitment and a willingness to just do and be happy.
I like
Yes.
that. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Let's see, I'm 39 years old, feminine woman who deals with, the struggles and challenges that every, woman kind of goes through.
Yeah.
My preference is more dominant women or studs. That's what I've always dated. Or, yeah, I've only dated one femme and she messed it up for everybody.
Oh no! So nobody else can get a chance now.
Nobody
Oh,
out of here.
mm, what's her name? No, I'm just kidding.
I,
Just kidding. Well, since you're a feminine woman and you date studs, how do you feel about gender roles? Do you have very specific gender role expectations?
very specific, yes. I grew up pretty traditional, or in the sense of what a relationship should look like. Even though growing up, I was raised in a single house or single family household, had a very strong mother, very independent mother, but she just taught us that relationships, you should have like a feminine energy and a more dominant or a masculine energy. And so I have a more feminine energy. So I look for individuals, and I'm typically attracted to individuals that just have that more dominant personality. So
Now, are you currently completely single or are you in that it's complicated phase?
it's definitely not complicated. I am very much single. My last relationship ended close to 2 years ago now. And so I recently have become open to the possibility of dating and meeting someone, but I'm very single.
Okay. And how are you meeting people?
Right now with the coronavirus, I am meeting people online.
Yeah.
But before, this COVID-19 hit these streets, I was, just going out. I like to meet people in person because I like to read energy, read your interactions. So I like, to just go to kind of low key events, maybe a little hookah spot, a live music concert, fairs, things like that. And that's how I typically was meeting people. However, more recently, like I said, with the COVID-19, I've joined a dating site and I've been just kind of navigating that.
Okay. What are the differences in terms of meeting people in person and then like your online experiences?
In person, because I'm big, I keep saying energy, but I'm big on energy. Like I just like to feel what another person is giving. So for me, it's a lot easier to meet someone in person because you can just kind of gauge where they are. And online, you don't get that so much. I feel like online, you have this representative that you have to step it up maybe 10 notches than you would typically do in reality. Like you have to put, the perfect picture with the best lighting and the best angle. You got to get your little bio together and you have to be willing to engage people.
And they're just portraying an image online.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, have you been catfished yet?
No, I have not. Thank God for the spirit of discernment.
Good.
um, No, I've not been catfished at this point. I have a very short attention span. It takes a lot for someone to catch my attention, let alone keep my attention. So I'm pretty good with being able to weed through something that might not be true or just something that doesn't satisfy me or something that doesn't interest me. So I am very thankful that I've not experienced that. No.
Good. Now, if you've lived in, different cities or larger cities and then moved to a smaller city, what is different in the dating scene in different areas?
Okay. So I'm currently in a smaller city than I'm used to. And the city that I came from, I was just used to more ambition, more hustle. I felt like the women that I date, which are more masculine and aggressive women, they just took initiative. They didn't wait for someone to approach them. They weren't waiting for someone to take care of them. And they seem to just be a little bit more confident. Whereas the women that I've met since I've relocated, I feel like they don't have that hustle, they don't have that ambition, they don't have that drive, or I don't want to say all of them, but for the most part, they don't. And that's been a challenge that I've experienced because I'm just so used to a certain type of individual and I don't see it here.
Okay. Mm. So that's been a dating challenge in your
Indeed.
current area. In
Yes.
general, what's the hardest part of dating?
I think for me, the hardest part of dating is the women don't seem to want commitment. I've run across women who seem to be a little intimidated by a strong-willed woman or a woman who is successful. And that to me, was a turnoff. And I've met more women than not who are like that in the area that I'm currently in.
Hmm. And the goal with dating is hopefully to get into a long-term healthy relationship.
Mhm.
How do you know what that looks like if you haven't seen it? Maybe if you don't have those role models in your current area.
Okay. I know for me, I didn't grow up in a home where it was a two-parent household. Again, I was raised by a single mother, and she was very, very independent. And she taught both my sister and myself to be very independent and not put yourself in a situation that you can't afford to get out of or you're waiting around for someone to do for you. So for me, I have modeled what my relationships will look like based on how I feel and how I want to feel and how I want other people to feel. So I know that I want people to feel happy. I want people to feel respected. I want people to feel like I hear them because that's how I want to feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I just do unto others the way that I want to be done unto. I'm very in tune with, like the love languages or the 5 different love languages. And so I study people and I listen. Like I definitely listen to things that I've learned from prior relationships so that I can grow and take that into the next relationship.
Mm-hmm. And definitely our past relationships sometimes just teach us what we do not want to experience in a relationship.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Yes. I know that that was something that I had to deal with in my past relationship and just in previous relationships, just knowing, okay, you may have settled for something for whatever reason. However, you have to grow, you have to learn, you have to heal, and you have to know what you're not willing to accept. It's one thing to know what you're willing to accept and what you want, but I think it takes a strong person to also be able to say, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to accept this. I'm not standing for it. And you have the strength to leave a situation.
Hmm. I respect that. So, Kimberly, what would you say to society in general about how they view same-sex relationships?
Um, I think society can be very judgmental towards same sex relationships. And I would just caution people to love one another, to be compassionate, to be gentle, to know that, these women or these men who are in same sex relationships, I'm a friend, a mother, a lover, a sister, a brother, auntie, co-worker, parishioner, whatever it may be. Like, I'm just like you. I'm just like your other loved ones. So I would just ask that you treat me with the same respect that you would want for me to treat you.
Hmm. I respect that. Definitely. Well, Kimberly, I want to thank you for your time today. Thank you for sharing your experiences and your insight. Um,
Absolutely.
and so, as always, here on Let's Be Love, I want to remind everyone to let's be the love that you want to see in this world.
All right. Thank you for
Thank,
having me.
thank you, Kimberly. Until next time, I'll catch you guys back here on Let's Be Love.